What is this illness all about that you're talking with us about today?
Well, basically, this condition, the polio-like condition, it's called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM, and basically it's a progressive neurological condition, and it's very worrisome because basically the CDC director, Dr. Robert Redfield, he put out a report that we need to be on the alert and look out for this condition, because right now they are concerned. A lot of parents, a lot of doctors, they're focused on coronavirus, as we should be, but at the same time, we don't want to miss it, because this is a condition, if it's not diagnosed early and treatment initiated, the consequences could actually be deadly.
Dr. Quinn, is this a virus? I know polio was a virus. Is this also a virus?
It is a virus. Basically, what the scientists, the doctors are believing is it's caused by a virus that causes a very similar to the coronavirus upper respiratory tract infection. In a lot of cases, the children will present with cold symptoms such as runny nose, cough, fever. But what we need to look at in this specific disease is the fact that they'll develop weakness or pain to the limbs, such as the legs and the arms. Sometimes they'll have headache. In this case, we need to get them to the emergency room, because the progression of this condition can be hours to days. But in the event that it does progress very quickly, the child might not be able to breathe and they'll require a respirator. That's why it's so important that we don't delay. And basically, the CDC is really urging parents and physicians to be on the lookout. Now, note that this is a very rare condition. It's very rare. According to the report, in 2018, only 238 children were affected, but 98% were hospitalized, 54% had to go into intensive care, and 23% were placed on ventilators. So it's something that we really need to be on the lookout for during this time.
How is this disease contracted?
Well, basically the same way as coronavirus. And that's one good thing. Right now, with all the precautions that we're putting in place for coronavirus, such as social distancing, wearing masks, cleanliness as far as hygiene with our hands, that will actually help, because basically it's through respiratory droplets, kids coughing, sneezing, or talking to one another, passing it on or picking it up on surfaces. So it's very similar. But the take home is, if you are a parent or even a physician such as myself, and a child is sick with upper respiratory tract symptoms, if they start to have any weakness, say for instance they have problems walking because their legs are weak or they have headache, you need to not hesitate to get them evaluated. It's being recommended by the CDC that you go ahead and take them to the emergency room. And it's been noted that they understand that parents are very afraid to take children to the emergency room because they could potentially come into contact with someone with COVID-19. But in the event of this information that we have, we don't want to miss a case, because if a child gets this condition and it's not treated early, that child might not be able to breathe, and they'll be at home where, they can't be properly treated, and that child could possibly lose their life.
One more real quick question, Dr. Quinn. Do kids get better from this? If you catch it quick enough, do they get better?
They have a better chance of getting better, because as I said, in 2018, 23% of the children were put on ventilators. If a child is unable to breathe, because basically the child develops paralysis, meaning that their muscles don't work. The breathing is performed by the diaphragm, which is a muscle. And if your diaphragm is not able to work because of this disease, then you can't breathe and you can lose your life. Luckily, these children that survived were in the hospital and put on respirators, but that's why we can't delay, because we have to worry that if they lose the ability to breathe, if they're not in the hospital, then nothing can be done.
All right, Dr. Quinn, thank you. Something important that we all need to be aware of. We appreciate you interviewing with us once again. Now let's send it over to Ken.